Hey everybody, it's Master Galengeist here, bringing you my review for the Immortal Thor issue 4, 2023. Fucking awesome cover here. I love the lightning and how it presents Thor and the hammer. I love the inscription and just, whosoever holds this hammer, if they be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. And that is an important bit because that's pivotal to Thor's strategy in this issue. So, we start off. For the 11th I know, if I have to, 11th I know, if I have to lead my ancient friends to battle, under their shields I sing, and with power they go safe to the fight, safe from the fight, safe on every side they go. Odin's rune song, the elder Edis of Samund Sigfusson, yes. Cool way to start off. And then we get this shot of Tyrannus getting closer and closer, and that's a thing that's repeated. He is coming closer. Across the void of space, he is coming closer. Across the gulf of time, he is coming closer. You wake, you work, you eat, you sleep, and he is coming closer. The summers are hotter, and the storms are stronger, and the floods rise higher, and he is coming closer. We can't rush these things, and he is coming closer. It's an election year, and he is coming closer. I don't believe it anyway, and he is coming closer. The wheel of fate is in his hand, and he is coming closer. Look him in the eye. Tyrannus is coming closer. And there are forces to which even gods must bow. He is coming closer. Yes, he was coming closer then, too, as we see that Sif sees him as well. And we see that Loki and Beta Ray Bill are in here. Is it true, Bill? Don't blame me. I told him all about it. Yes, Loki told me all about it, but Loki tells stories. So I ask you, my lady Sif, is it true? I told him Beta Ray Bill was first on the list Thor gave me, the top pick. Don't tell me your eyes didn't see it all, sister of Heimdall. I do see much, Loki, except for those particular things you don't want me to. Where exactly did Thor's new axe come from? Why not ask him? Maybe he'll even tell you. And being like, I know you're doing shit, Loki. And then we get a cool little chat between Sif and Bill, saying that she knows he's not as he once was, and that the same could be said for you and Thor. Once I called him brother in my heart, but that bond feels fractured of late and perhaps cannot be mended, which makes kind of more sense going on the previous run and the whole kind of run that we had, the 5 issues that we had with Beta Ray Bill. That one was actually pretty cool. I remain a friend of Asgard in time of need, but having fought to find my own path and my own power, I wonder, am I still of Asgard? Did I ever stand among you? Even after all this time, can I truly know the minds of gods? I, who am only a man. Bill, please know that you are so much more than that. It's like, yeah, but it's a thing. It's kind of a central thing for Bill, but also for anybody that kind of wields Mjolnir and takes the position of Thor, wondering about their worthiness. Saying that he's so much more than that. Thy words are meant kindly, Sif, but they are words, easy said and hard accepted. So if Loki speaks true, if Thor asks that of me, I hope he knows what he is, what it is that he asks. Thor knew. It's like, yeah, I like that we get that. And I love how Beta Ray Bill is shown. So then we shift over to Storm, and I like how they kind of deal with Storm and kind of give you a lowdown if you don't really know that much about her, but also kind of just talking about kind of how she kind of works. He knew the weight of the service he requested better than any who lived. All who bore a weight of that nature had in some way been marked by it, even those who had far greater loads to carry. Aurora was her name, and Arakko was her home, the blood-red planet once named Mars for a god of war, now itself a battleground. She was a commander of armies, but no queen, for there were no thrones on Arakko, or as the ravens call for her. But Thor was a king. You are summoned, and perhaps too used to storms coming at his call. Am I? Aurora was the storm, and shaped it as her birthright. Her power to do so was measureless, more than any mutant with a similar gift. No normal wind could blow her where she did not wish to go. Exactly. Like, Aurora is top. Like, she's got her status for a reason, but this was no normal wind. These were the dimensional winds cast by ancient magic, and though magic was in Aurora's blood, you are summoned. It was not yet strong enough to counter them. Damn it, Thor! As she gets sucked into these winds. Boop, boop, boop. Not yet. I am busy. Then I apologize for the abruptness of the summons, Aurora. Apology accepted. If you return me to Araco. Now, Thor, a moment, please. I could not trust even my ravens to convey the seriousness of my message. And Thor's trying to be as polite as possible when having teleported somebody like against their will. And the thing is, Storm has a lot of things going on, especially with Orcus going after mutants, everything going on in Araco. Now, granted, I'm not completely well versed of everything going on within the mutant line, but I know that there's a lot of crazy shit going on. Nor of the urgency of, as she starts throwing throwing lightning at the thunder god. My need for you. Ow. Like the blue area upon the opposite side, the gray area of the moon was home to a pocket of air, and thus weather. Both the combatants were armed. Is the need so urgent that you must kidnap me from my home and my people? Because even if that is the case, I promise you, Araco needs me more. Return me, Aurora, as she just keeps hammering him with lightning. Stop hitting me, please. I love that. He asks politely. Excuse me, I spoke not to you, Aurora, but to the lightning. Thank you, my friend. As it stops, it's like, I actually love seeing Thor do that kind of stuff. It's like, he asks, and it responds. I'm growing tired of people forcing me to miss my strikes. The lightning loves me as it loves you. We should not make it choose. And I love that. Like Thor's like, yeah, we shouldn't make it choose. It cannot truly hurt me. In any case, I trust it to convey the seriousness of my message. And though I enjoyed the play of the lightning, there are more universal forces. Atmospheric pressure, for example. As she's pretty much trying to crush him with pressure. It's like, damn. And there are places where the atmospheric pressure is high, such as Jupiter. You command the storm, Thor. I command weather, and not as a king on a throne. I command it as an equal. Aurora spoke true. In that moment, in that small space, Thor felt all the crushing weight of a far-off world upon his back. His sinews screamed, his spine bid fair to break, and all the God of Thunder could do was smile. Who's stronger? What? And I love this little bit that we have here. That the question, those like us are always asked, who's stronger? Can I arm wrestle the Hulk? Run a race with Quicksilver. Challenge Willie Lumpkin in a contest of wiggling ears. Quickly, measure the results. Write them down to see who is worthy. But strength is relative to the need for it, and that is important. In any story, the need for the strength is what is important. If I have to, I can stand on Jupiter. I can stand anything if the need is great and the cause is just. As can you, as can we all. And I love that. It's like, yes. If the need is great, the cause is just, Thor will do it. And that's great. And I love the fucking art just showcasing him there with Mjolnir in his hand and Tormod, not Tormund, sorry, Game of Thrones, Tormod in his belt. We are not measured by strength, nor by raw power. The measure of us is what we do when the need for action lies with us. Yes. And the hammer is in our hand as he tosses the hammer at Aurora. And against the crushing air of another world, Thor threw with all his force. And this was Mjolnir, the Crusher, the great warhammer of legend, forged in myth and Uru, filled with the all-magic of Thor Allfather. It was the bane of all Thor's foes, but the hope of all Thor's friends. And that is important. Like, it can be two things at once. It will strike fear and terror into those who are unjust and cruel, but into those that are allied with justness and kindness and the will to fight for people, like Thor and Thor's friends. It's hope. And then she grasps it and gets transformed. And more besides, for it had been written by Odin himself, whosoever holds the hammer, if they be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. And I love her look of her Thor form, and it's just like, yeah. And not a moment too soon. Look up. And I love just that. And then we see Tyrannos. And it's like, okay. Granted, she's got issues, but now we got a giant fucking elder god to deal with. Look up. Look at the world outside your window. Look at the raging fires, the screaming winds, the rising waters. Look at the ticking of the clock. See how the hour grows late. And see whose hour has arrived. He is no longer coming closer. He is here. At last I have found you. Tyrannos is here, small gods. Tyrannos, first of all thunderers. Proof against all your power. I was formed with the gods at the forming of the earth, and I will bring all these things to their end. And she's like, shit. And I love this because you see Tyrannos, Down here we see Aurora and Thor. Scale. I love that kind of shit. I do well. You summoned me to fight that? You're right. It was urgent. I'm like, thank you. And Thor he doesn't revel in it. He's just like, yeah, I needed help. Once Tyrannus destroys me, he has promised doom to Midgard, and I suspect planet Araco will not evade his wrath for long. And what he claims is true. He is the elder god of thunder, and even Odin power cannot fully defeat him. But I have my own power, Aurora, and I have a plan. Will you trust me? And I love that. He doesn't order. He asks if you will trust him. Trust the wheel of fate, godlings, to turn and turn again and bring around your doom. He's racking that wheel around. Honestly, it depends on the plan. I have my own power too, Thor, and I've rejected yours before. I think we've established that I don't need a hammer to call down thunder. Very true. On the other hand, you can bench press an 18-wheeler now. That'll be fun at parties. And sorry about the whole giving you the power of Thor for a scheme thing way back when. That was a different Loki. Kind of, sort of, maybe. Please don't throw the hammer at me. And it's like, yep, Loki popping up when Loki is needed. Or throw the hammer at Loki. Now I trust your plan. It's like, yep. There you go. Know what they're doing. Eep. I'm not catching that fastball special. And I love that. And thank you for making that reference. That, of course, when Wolverine's fastball special and stuff. That's a hero's task if I ever saw one. Unfortunately, I have one right here. Bitter Bill, come forth. Pretty much summoning him like a Pokemon. Then we see Bill grasp it. Mjolnir is yours again. Then we see him in his Thor form to hold high as a warrior of Asgard. And I love seeing... I like Bill's other costume that we've seen in the beginning of this issue. But it's just something about seeing him with his hammer like that. It's awesome. I had forgotten what this was, to hold the hammer. Feels as if Asgard, the land, and the people is holding me at her very heart. That you ever doubted that is a shame upon me, Bill. And I like that Thor brings that and you're like, no, that you doubted it is not your fault, for it is mine. But now is not the time, for Tyrannus calls back his wheel, and we are not yet at full strength. I see where this is going. Without the hammer, how long does the power of Thor last? If there's not Thor, 60 seconds, and each second counts. Loki, and we get Loki Thored up too. Your turn. 2 can hold the hammer as easily as 1, and 4 as easily as 2. Ah, the Thors that refreshes. But the number of magic is 5. To my eye, there's a Thor missing. Who's it gonna be, as if I didn't know? It will be I, Tyrannus. I will hurl thine own mallet through thy fragile skull. And this was Tyrannus' error. Tyrannus, for the magic of Mjolnir was not his magic to command. I say thee nay. As we see Jane riding the horse. And I say thee nay. Little horse humor there. Well met, Jane Foster. Behold, Tyrannus, you could not defeat Thor when he stood alone, and now it belonged to the Allfather. And unlike his father Odin, Allfather Thor was always happy to share. And that is an important thing to hit on. Odin would never think to do something like this against a threat. To share power like this would not be something that he would tactically decide. It's kind of like Doom as well. But Thor, he knows the power of friendship, of those who have wielded his power as well. It's what makes him such a different warrior and a different king. Him working together with the Avengers and his allies of Earth, of all across the universe. This exemplifies that and showcases that, because Thor does not question this. He's like, this is my plan, and these my friends will help me. And we see Jane in her Thor form, just as we see all of them together. You now face the Thor corpse. The Thor corpse. 'Twas a majestic sight even for Tyrannus' eyes, but the wheels still turned, and fate was coming closer. As we then shift towards the end of the issue with someone else we haven't seen in a while. I don't share. And again, I kind of like the duality here. We see Thor sharing, but we see someone else here deciding not to share. You're my head of acquisition, Simon. Make them understand that fact. The Underoos are mine. The lunchboxes are mine. The cake toppers are mine. The movies are mine. The live action biopics. The animated adaptation. Even the video games of all of that is mine. And most of all, the stories are mine. As we see that he is attempting to pretty much own everything with Thor. Close to a century of illustrated journalism, the true stories of the marvels of the age of in comic book form, because plain text can't tell the full story. That was the line back in the 40s, I hear. And now I will tell the full story. I will create the true story. In this time, in this place, in this realm, I will be the Skald. You understand? Good. Make them understand. And then, in the name of Roxanne, who is thy first, last, and only God, make mine marvel. As we see the Minotaur doing that. At least I'm pretty sure it's the Minotaur and not Utgard Loki. But it's interesting to see him popping up in the mix. Now, granted, and then we've got the If They Be Wordy. Fucking great name for that. We'll have to see how Thor is going to deal with that. Thor and Loki, because we have to see how Loki's kind of dealing with trying to pretty much be supplanted by the Skull as the Skald. And then we see a preview of the next one. Tyrannus had returned, and to face him, the king of Asgard had gathered his army. But if even an army of storm gods could not stop the elder god of thunder, what then? This is the story of the Immortal Thor and the battle that would define him. And there we go. So, I really enjoyed this issue. I liked seeing Beta Ray Bill brought in, us pretty much getting up to speed there. Thor calling upon all of these other allies that had wielded Thor's power before to have allies to fight Tyrannus, understanding that his all power wouldn't be able to work as well, and that it wouldn't be enough. Brute raw strength is not what's going to win this fight. It's tactically being able to utilize your strength to the best advantage. As well as I love him bringing up that we are not measured by strength nor by raw power. The measure of us is what we do when the need for action lies with us, and the hammer is in our hand. Like, he can deal with anything if he needs to do it for this. And I'm interested to see how Thor and his allies are going to be able to take on Tyrannus. I love when challenges like this are proposed for heroes. You're always interested to see how they will deal with these threats. Like Tony always getting broken down and how he will build himself back up. What armors and tactics he will try. This is awesome to see how Allfather Thor deals with these kinds of things, because Thor dealing with certain conflicts and wars is one thing. Allfather Thor is a different matter, because he has different responsibilities and have to look at different kind of ways of handling things. Sure, he still has that Thor flavor that he does when he deals with things, but I loved seeing this and him working with Aurora, since I really haven't seen them interact much. This was a delight to see, and then seeing Bill be brought back and understanding that he is still with Asgard, with being able to be worthy, and that Thor understands that he has wounded Bill, and that he considers that a shame and wants to rectify that. Now, granted, now is not the time, because they got to deal with a fucking asshole trying to, like, wreck all the realms. So, we'll see how that kind of works out. I hope that we get something within that fact going on, and they're all ready for the battle, and it's interesting to see what the Minotaur is doing and what'll pop up from that later on. So, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.